Hello, welcome. Oh, my mic is going down. Welcome, it is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. And we are talking about September 2025. I am filming this live. It is August 29th. And 20 September is pretty big. We got eclipse season for the end of the year. So we have two eclipses happening, and I've done a video on that separately. Go ahead and check that out. I'll link it down below if you are not watching this live, but I go over details of the eclipse and how it affects you. We have huge lessons on karmic lessons. We got Virgo energy coming in strong. So a lot of decluttering and health issues as well, and more and more and more. Okay. If you want to know what you have to look forward to in September, also Saturn, right from the jump, September 1st, it goes into Pisces. It's retrograding right now. So let's get into it.
3, 2, 1.
I love you. Here are the dates of September. And September 3rd, we have Mercury squaring Uranus. We have Jupiter trine the North Node. We have Mars squaring Jupiter. And on the 10th, we have the Sun opposing the North Node. Mercury is going to oppose the North Node. They're conjunct, I'm sure, at that time. And here we are, conjunct a Cazimi on the 13th. On the 17th, Mercury is going to oppose Saturn. Mercury moves faster than the sun, okay? Mercury opposes Neptune. Then it will trine Uranus, and then it would trine Pluto. Mercury is very busy. On the 20th, Venus squares Uranus. The sun will oppose Saturn. On the 23rd, the sun will oppose Neptune, and then Uranus, it will trine, and then it will trine Pluto. And on the 24th, Mars is going to square Pluto. Now, I will explain the details of all that. I just want you to get the overview of the dates. Now, we have luminations, which we have two eclipses happening. And again, I went over detailed of the eclipse, and they're going to happen on the 7th and on the 21st. On September 5th, Uranus will station retrograde in Gemini, and I'll talk about the current planets that are retrograding right after we talk about this. But this is the only retrograde that we have added, but we have Pluto retrograding, Saturn, Neptune. Yeah, and so then ingresses September 1st, Saturn is going to re enter Pisces while it's retrograding. On the 2nd, Mercury will enter Virgo. On the 17th, Mercury will then enter Libra. On the 19th of September, Venus will enter Virgo. And I needed to enter Virgo because it is in Leo and the celebrities are acting a fool. Okay. On the 22nd, we have Mars entering Scorpio and the sun enters Libra. Okay. Now let's bring up the chart. Let me scooch over because I haven't learned my lesson yet. And my wheels aren't the best, but I only remember when I'm recording. So let's start with the first date, and we got September 1st here. And we are starting off the month with a banger. We have, where is he? Saturn now 29 degrees. It enters Pisces. This is pretty big. This is going to happen on the 1st. Okay. So everyone get excited for this energy. 29 degree is an urgent degree. It is an aneretic degree. It's very important and it's retrograding. Okay. Saturn represents lessons. It represents structure. It represents the government. It represents limitations. It represents, any karma, any work you put in and you get long-term results. And it's retrograding. Retrograding means that you're redoing, you're repeating, it's internal energy. Also, too, that the planet is not really setting the limits. It's not really teaching us the lessons. It's not really working long term. So, like the boundaries that it normally sets, the boundaries may not be there. Now it's in the sign Pisces, and Pisces is all about water. It's about fish. It's about self undoing. It's about prisons, secrets, any type of secrets of all kinds. So conspiracy theories, okay, any of that. Abstract, it's about the fog. It's about chaos. Cloud, you cannot quite see, so it gives you that abstract energy. A fraud, okay. Oil and gas is also a part of Pisces energy, and poison. Photography, art, creativity, compassion, spirituality. That also includes religion. Surrendering, forgiveness, releasing, and endings. Pisces represents endings and death as well. Creativity, I said that. Illusions, That goes with the fog and collective healing and oneness. Okay. So we have Saturn entering Pisces. So we've already been here. So this is not new energy. However, that 29 degrees is going to make it pretty potent and pretty strong. This is boundaries with compassion. Issues with the borders are going to be coming back up. Being serious about your religion. If you were very serious and you didn't take it serious before, now Saturn is saying, come on, it's not, now it's time to be serious about your faith. Illusions are going to dissolve. Secrets and deceptions, the governments and conspiracy theories is going to get bigger. So I think the Jeffrey Epstein things will be coming back up. If you try to cover up, Trump tries to cover it up, but Trump is not just, he's one person, but the government, the person who is setting this. Saturn also represents CEOs and institutions too. So whatever secrets they're covering up is going to end on the 29 with the 29 degrees. Again, we have some water concerns. Pisces water connection may highlight collective issues around floods, oceans, and water systems. On a personal level, I did talk about the spirituality and your faith and having a reality check with that. Maybe you have to set some emotional boundaries and creative discipline, also healing old wounds. This is big with far as love and relationships. There is going to be some boundaries or some structures or thinking more long term, or even a committed relationship may be ending with this. Okay. As far as finances, it could be some illusions here if you're dealing with some money and you have Pisces dealing with your second house. And this could be a big issue for you guys. So Saturn and Pisces, long-term energy, losing the money, the ending of something, but it's going to end whatever it is in your chart. Okay. So we have that. Revisit some boundaries, refine spiritual practices, face old illusions, and have compassion with some clarity. This is also involving intuition and being serious about using your intuitive power. My tarot readers and spiritual guides. But Pisces also represents addiction and drugs and escapism. So be aware of that and not being lost in the sauce. But there's some strong lessons coming for you individually or the collective. Okay. So that's what we have. I'll talk about that more on Monday, but that is what we have for you to understand because we got a lot of dates to talk about. But so you can understand what we have, we already felt this energy, right? Now on the 2nd, Mercury will enter Virgo at 0 degrees. It's at home here. Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. This is the energy of really being able to analyze and break things down. Virgo likes to organize and the spreadsheets. And now you can mentally, the vibe in the sky is on your side with that, especially when it hits 0 degrees on the 2nd. It's going to be very strong. That's a potent energy. Any planet that hits 0 degrees or 1 degrees is going to be dealing with Uranus, is going to be dealing with Neptune for now, and then it's going to be dealing with Pluto. Okay. So right away, you have it that it is squaring Uranus. You have that soon it will be quincunx because I do it at the exact degree of Pluto, and also quincunx here. And you see you have this yod here. It's creating this pattern of both of these dilemmas and quite uncomfortable. Mercury, it doesn't, we'll explain. Okay. First of all, when Mercury moves in Virgo, the collective mind shifts from being able to analyze things. There's clarity, there's detail, there's practicality. You're moving slow, you're able to process information, but you take your time. This is the energy of planning. This is the energy of refining any systems. Okay. It's great for secretarial work, working at computer as well. Mercury is in charge of commerce, is in charge of trade, is in charge of all communications, day-to-day travel. So now it is moving slower than ever. So it's not retrograding, but it is going to take its time. But there's precision in communication, health and wellness too, discussing a lot of that. Virgo rules health. Themes around healing, medicine, and daily routines is going to dominate if it hasn't already. Workplace is also very serious in Virgo. So you will have more discussions about efficiency at work and coworkers and collective focus on fixing broken systems, organizing workflows, and improving productivity. A lot of critical thinking, like I said, but for the collective, you'll have stronger discernment. People may question things, and there's a lot of fact checking when Mercury is in Virgo and refining some ideas. But on a personal level, you'll be able to clearly think. You'll be able to pay attention to all of the details and refine all of the personal touches. This is perfect for like a tailor who gets really into all the details of things. A lot of self-criticism on the negative side. Virgo is it doesn't want to release things until it's perfect. And not only is it self-critical to itself but others, and when you are criticizing others, that's really because you're criticizing yourself a lot more. But there is a more focus of habits and routines and daily schedule and dieting. And if you say you're going to work out, you're going to be committed to that, and maybe even writing lists, because the Virgo energy loves to write lists. While Mercury is in Virgo, you want to organize things, you want to refine, you want to edit, you want to focus on self-improvement. Don't overanalyze. Try not to make everything perfect. Don't focus on every detail, even though the details are important. But if it needs to be released, release it, okay? Honor clarity, precision, and progress over perfection. All right, so that is what we have on the 3rd. I will break down how this is going to, that's what we have on the 2nd. Now on the 3rd is when it hits that 1 degree, but it already passes it, right? But right away we have this issue here, we have this issue here, we have this issue here. So Pluto and Uranus, they're happy with each other. They're having a great trine. There's a lot of information that we can compute and be in charge of. And Mercury is ruling Uranus because Uranus is in the sign Gemini. So when Mercury is not happy, it's going to affect this air trine that's making everyone process information really fast. Now, Mercury is going to square Uranus, and this is a tendency to be a little nervous. There's a lot of anxiety. You're moving way too fast when you have this energy. And remember, Mercury in Virgo wants to move slow. So there's something that's moving too fast and you want to pay attention. You want to move slow. You get restlessness happening here. You get overstimulated. There's a lot of erratic behavior and erratic thinking. You can't focus that much on this day for the collective. And if it's hitting any of your personal charts, if you have early degree signs, it's going to be affecting you. But there's a lot of impractical ideas and excessive mental pride, even some stubbornness, because Uranus is a little fixed energy here. We are dealing with mutable energy. It's about change. There's something that's going to change, but maybe it's moving too fast and your thoughts are moving too slow. But Mercury in Virgo is very sharp, it's very detailed, orientated thinking and anything when it comes to communication and trade and commerce. And with Uranus and Gemini, it's very innovative and it likes to be different. It likes to do something new. It wants to be outside of the box. It also is for the people, the collective, and fighting for a cause. Uranus is about technology and really learning and social systems. And the square is going to cause some tensions between the thinking and communication and learning and the collective movement and disruption. Uranus is a huge planet of disruption. So this is almost like a Mercury retrograde, and technology may not work. I would charge my cars on the 29th. Today and tomorrow, charge your cars. You may be having some problems. Drive really slow as well. But major disruptions in communication, tech and media shocks, health and information systems could be an issue. Restlessness, collective minds. Also, too, mental energy is scattered, not just personally, but as a collective. So, but challenges always brings a lesson. So there could be a lesson and maybe some sudden insights happening through this, but be aware of what I'm telling you. Okay. Also, too, Uranus wants you to be flexible. So be flexible for whatever change is coming up that day. Also, that day we have Jupiter, and it has some dealings with the North and South node. It's going to trine the North node. It's going to sextile the South node. So this is really great because Jupiter is, the planet of expansion, and now it's in the sign of Cancer. So there's emotional depth here. Even it expands family and home and your past. This is why we are getting a lot of movies from the past or being very nostalgic, or a lot of things of vintage and thrift are coming up because you have this Jupiter in Cancer. But a lot of compassion and security. Now, the North Node is retrograding in Pisces, and now this is our collective karma. This is also us. What are we meant to do in this lifetime? So there is spiritual expansion, there's healing through nurturing, there's faith in flow, a lot of abundance and happiness when it comes to our spirituality and our intuition, and us moving as a collective unit. There's emotional growth and spiritual growth. There's faded emotional lessons. This could be dealing something with your family and how you are supposed to move forward spiritually together. And this is also dealing with some inner healing as well. Okay. So it's very interesting. The thought process may not be working, but your intuition will be working more than ever. So I would say on the second and third, maybe focus more on your spirituality and your intuitive abilities at the beginning of the month. Now, on September 4th, we have Mars in Libra. It's going to square Jupiter in Cancer. Where is my Mars? Here. Oh, yeah, 18 degrees here. Also, too, we have it with 18 degrees here. So it's going to quincunx the North Node. So also, too, there's something that we're trying to achieve and move forward, and there's something moving forward in our destiny, and there's something that's going to make us feel uncomfortable. It could be in regarding our aesthetics, our relationships, our couples, our harmony and balance, maybe even creativity. But that Mars squaring Jupiter here, you are dealing with being very impulsive. You're talking about self-aggranding, like making yourself like, I am so beautiful, I am above all. The ego being very boisterous, rambunctious kind of style, like it's a little bit too much. Maybe this is something dealing with philosophy, because this is a planet that deals with philosophy. That could be an issue. You guys, I need to turn my air off because now I'm too cold. I'm going to turn it to fan. Hold on one second. Okay. Yes, sorry about that. Anyway, but back to Jupiter on the 4th of September. This is about big shot swagger, right? You think you are the big shot, everything you're trying to achieve, maybe you're overdoing it. So be aware of that. The ego is just a little bit too big. You're dealing with relationships. So this could be something with aesthetics and relationships, and you're taking it too far. And it could be something dealing with the past. Be aware of that. Overcommitting. There could be something dealing with the law and you being protective with it, social tension. Maybe you're very impulsive because you're overly optimistic. Be aware of that, okay? Now, on the 5th of September, this is when Uranus enters the party of retrogrades. So we have Chiron, the planet of healing, retrograding. These planets mostly always are retrograding because there's a lot of internal work happening. We have Neptune retrograding. We have Saturn retrograding. The nodes always retrograde half of the time. So again, this is internal deep stuff that you need to redo so you can move forward and release things. And now you have Pluto retrograding. So a lot of planets are retrograding in the sky. So just know in September, there's going to be a lot of redoing and reprocessing things, and things are going to be delayed more than ever. Okay. Now you have Uranus entering the building, and Uranus, remember, it's the planet that likes to move fast. It's very intellectual. It's the planet of change. It's very rebellious. There's innovation, disruptions, and awakenings. I would think that a lot of people are going to be more boycotting, probably at schools. That's what you have in Gemini. Gemini is a sign of communication, learning, media, social connections, technology, mobility with the driving, right? When it's retrograding, you will see things that are suddenly supposed to be shocks, maybe not be a shock, or maybe things are not moving fast, or maybe will be too shocked. Like, whoa, this is really, we weren't ready for this. There could be some inner awakenings, not really external awakenings. A lot of reviewing and rethinking in the name of Uranus. So shifts in communications and technology and transformation, transportation. Also, too, again, something with tornadoes, anything dealing with weather, but it's dealing with air, more air things. Okay, social movements. I think we'll have some unexpected social movements. I think we'll get some rebellions, strikes, boycotts. All those things will probably be bigger and maybe even redone. Like, you said we couldn't do this and we didn't finish. So we need to boycott this. Rewiring the thought patterns, mindset shift, revisiting old conversations. In a rebellion too. Maybe there's a desire to be independent. Uranus wants to be independent and what's his freedom. And maybe this could be dealing with some relationships or friendships. But there's something that's going to be repeated and redone. Watch out for all our podcasters, all our journalists, all our people who write, and maybe even authors as well. Something big will be happening with them. We'll see. That'll be very interesting. Also, too, I just want you to understand that Gemini is the planet of debates and pranks. So a lot of people playing pranks, and I don't like pranks. I don't find them fun. So we'll probably see something with social media as well, because Uranus and Gemini, they're both about social media, and so is this energy here. These are very positive. But when you're dealing with any planet that's turning into it, it changes, and it's retrograding. So it's repeating stuff. Now, on the 7th, I talked about the total lunar eclipse in Pisces. You should already be feeling this. If you're not, this is stronger for others than it is if you're not feeling it. But there is something of ending happening. There is releasing some forgiveness. There's something dealing with your intuition and spirituality. Those are the major themes with the Pisces, right? Emotional, a revelation of some sort, of an illusion, and you were once clouded. This is also could be some like collective healing or some healing. Yeah, but there's some major themes in that. Okay, and I went over this. But it's a great time to journal. Don't do any rituals or magic during the eclipse. Okay, it's too wonky. All right. Now on the 10th, right after you have this solar eclipse, I mean, this lunar eclipse, on the 10th here, you have the sun, and it's going to be opposing the north node in Pisces, and it will be conjunct the south node. So there's something from your past that's going to be coming up. It's going to be dealing with your ego. Get ready for that. But something from your future is making you feel uncomfortable. There isn't a balance here. The sun is your ego, it's your vitality, it's your body, it's your identity. It brings awareness. So something from your past may be highlighted as well. And in Virgo, this is of service, this is of health, this could be work, this could be a small detail that you didn't pay attention to. So be aware of that. Yeah, also too, Virgo and Pisces energy is a energy of healing. Or healers, people who give service, like nurse or someone who does like a servitude of something. Yeah, so be aware of that. They may be feeling that more than ever. It's not just like the actual sign, but the actual type of energy that you give out. So someone who is of service and charity is really what I was trying to think. Okay, but blend precision and compassion, allow practical details and spiritual trust to work together. Don't cling too tightly to control, and dismiss your intuition. Work with your intuition, but there is something from your past, and it is holding you back. So be aware of that, and it might be highlighted. On the 17th, Mercury wants to enter the picture, is following the sun, is doing the same thing. Now, you saw it, it's highlighted. Now you are talking about it, okay? Whatever happened the day before now is like put on blast. There's an announcement of some sort, and this is Mercury is very rational in Pisces, is very precise, right? So when it's being said, there's going to be precision. This is all about fact. It's in the earth sign. Earth sign likes tangible results and tangible announcements. So let's see how this plays out. But remember, we are dealing with something of the past, and there's a tug of war of something in the future that you are meant to do. This is logic versus faith. This is karmic communication. This is spiritual service. Virgo is a service through details, while Pisces is a service through compassion. And how do we feel? We don't need the tangible results. So there's a tug of war between those things. Okay. Yeah. So that is what we have as of September, at the beginning of September. Now, September 13th, we're almost mid through the month. Now Mercury is a Kazemi. So now you have this huge announcement of some sort, and now there's clarity. There is something that's very bright and enthusiastic happening to the mind, or maybe it's dealing with your health or something dealing with your past, because the South Node was still lingering. But there's a conscious sense of purpose. There also is a creative thinking and warm communication and direct sharing of one's point of view. This is a great time to communicate with someone, especially if you have Virgo energy or you are dealing with any earth signs around these degrees, around 21 degrees. Be very positive for you to get to talking. Okay. Now we also have, let me see if I said anything in my notes. I told you what the sun represents in Virgo energy. And yeah, but just clarity of thought and critical awareness. And the media will be saying something. So whenever there's a Kazemi, almost like what is going to be announced in the news, but this could be dealing something with work, some details, being aware, or something with health as well. Not necessarily medicine. Could be medicine, because we do have Saturn over here retrograding. So it could be, and could be a new medicine as well, because we have Neptune, and that represents medicine in Pisces, if you didn't know. Now we're a little bit past half of the month now, and September 17th, we have Mercury, and now it's opposing Saturn here. It moves pretty fast, okay? And this is a tendency to really worry. This is a energy of being pessimistic. You don't want to work long term. You're not paying attention to the details. You feel limited. You have a narrow perception of things. A very cynical energy. So be aware of that. Try not to be negative during this time. Let me see. This is a clash of logic versus faith and spirituality. Yeah, just really being negative when it comes to spirituality as well, or when it comes to your health. Try to be positive with that. Don't worry about it. Simplify tasks, double check your details, and create healthy boundaries. Do not overwork. Don't be nitpicky. Remember, I told you about that being perfect Virgo energy. Work on that, especially when Mercury is opposing Saturn. Okay. Also, too, this could be like a government energy trying to enforce something on you or limiting you in some way. Yeah, just try not to be pessimistic with that. All right. Now, on the 18th of September, now Mercury has officially entered Libra. And Libra is all about really being passive aggressive with the words, right? You talking about Mercury, it's communication, it's commerce, it's trade, it's thinking, it's travel, it's contracts, it's the emails. Libra is the scales. It is the energy of balance and harmony, inner harmony, having balance across the board. It likes to make things look aesthetically pretty, and you might say these things with your words, so you can be very pleasing and charming while Mercury's in Libra. There is a major discussions about relationship and fairness and justice, being diplomatic as well. Words are softened. There's a communication leans towards fairness and connection. So be aware of this. A lot of art and culture, and thinking about that and reading about that as well. We'll have a great book that I want to read on that. It's a classic. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's a book, and a guy wants to be within the art. I kind of want to read that now. I'm an avid reader. So, and you guys, side note, I haven't done a video on Virgo. I have a whole series on astrology, zodiac reads, books aligned with the stars. And I haven't done Virgo, and I did have COVID. But yeah, I'm fine. Everything's good, but I just felt drained. But I was still able to work out, but I just didn't have the energy to discuss things. I just did work and worked out. That's it. So anyway, but while you have this, and also too, COVID's going around, that makes sense with Saturn retrograding, right? Mercury entering Libra again. Focus on compromising and practice active listening. Don't try to charm everyone, okay? But don't fall into people pleasing as well, and endless indecision. People are very indecisive with this energy, okay? Now, there is a pattern happening here. Mercury is opposing Neptune, and it's trining Uranus, and it is trining Pluto. So it's working really great here. I'm giving a kite here, and it's working really great with this energy. But the main focus is going to be the Neptune opposing at 0 degrees. And Neptune being at 0 degrees is a big, big doozy. Neptune in Aries, I find, is giving all that Ozempic energy with medication and new medication. Also, just having an illusion of the self. And Aries represents the self. It represents something new and something first. And there's an illusion there. And there's going to be more awareness when it hits 0 degrees. 0 degrees is a potent degree. So, did it hit 0 degrees this day? It hit 0 degrees on the 15th of September. So just be aware of the deceptions and illusions that will be coming out more than ever. The secrets won't be as secretive when we have Neptune at September 15th entering 0 degrees. But it will be opposing this Mercury. And so there's something that's going to be said and it's going to be causing a disruption of some sort. Okay. There's a tendency towards errors, there's misunderstandings, a lot of confusion, wishful thinking, and honesty and clarity, but it's a little lost in the sauce. And Mercury moves fast. So this is only going to be that day. It'll be moving on, but I want you to be aware. And Mercury's in Libra. So it could be something with a relationship in harmony and balance. Neptune retrograding in Aries, again, illusions, dreams, spiritual fog around independence, around yourself, around something new, around leadership, self identity, and maybe even re examining all these things inwardly. But this is something that's repeated, okay? But be ready for a lot of misinformation that day, and it's going to be moving very fast. Write that date down. Whatever is said on the news, ignore it. It's not true because it's here to bring confusion. So be aware of that, and a lot of indecisiveness. Like you're able to see both sides, and you don't know what side to pick. Okay, but Mercury trining at Uranus is going to make things really fast. It's going to make things really original. Process things, looking outside of the box and being flexible. You will get that right. And then with Pluto, there could be something that's very secretive. Also, too, that's very deep. Something that's beyond the surface level. Some psychology, some healing. All that's going to play a part, and it works really well. But then there's this deception here. I find what kites, the most important part is the opposing energy. This stuff works really fast. You're able to get it fast, but there's this opposition here. Okay. Now, Venus on September 19th, which I passed, Venus at 0 degrees, 0 degrees. Once it hits Virgo, it feels uncomfortable with this deception. Again, Venus is the ruler of Mercury, and Venus is also uncomfortable. So again, the relationships and justice, something dealing with law, something dealing with a team or a female. It's not feeling comfortable with the illusions and the secrets. And this could be a very new illusion, okay? Venus in Virgo is at fall here. It's the opposite of its exaltation in Pisces. And it's not bad, but it's not comfortable. Venus doesn't even like being comfortable in Virgo. Virgo wants everything perfect, okay? It's very rigid. Venus is the planet of love and beauty and pleasure and harmony and indulgence. And Virgo is too critical and analytical and modest. And Venus is like, let's have plush and relax. And Virgo is very practical, and Venus likes the luxury of things. So Venus in Virgo is very nitpicky, and it's over analyzing beauty. And it could be something with the health, something with the details is going to cause some uncomfortableness here. Okay. Yeah, but usually when Venus is in Virgo, there's a lot of love language and acts of service. Well, love language is act of service, right? And attention to details and showing up and being responsible and writing that list for others. It's very practical. It doesn't want to spend any money. Okay. The earth signs usually are doing this, but especially the Virgos and the Capricorns, very modest. But there is over analyzing, even with partners and relationships, or with women, or even with anything creative and harmony. So be aware of that. But there is grounded energy here. It's very grounded. It's very practical in love. There's devotion. There's refinement. So there is that positive energy here. Just don't be too critical of others. Refine your routines, improve your health, beautify your home, and declutter your home. Show some love through acts of service. You will naturally attract things that are very detail oriented and very work energy. I don't know, work. Labor is what I just think of Virgo energy. But don't overanalyze yourself and others. Okay, so really work on that while it's there. But just know once it enters there, it's going to be uncomfortable. And also, too, there is an issue here with something that's very taboo or secretive or obsessed with power or controlling what you can say. So the middle of September gets very spicy. Get ready for that. And there's something dealing with law, something dealing with justice, or women and females as a whole. Right. On September 20th. Again, Venus will square Uranus, and again, romantic social restlessness, craving for sexual freedom. You don't want to be with this partner anymore. And this could be the issue that happened here with Mercury, but also to disruptive affair, breaking up, wanting automatically to be on your own, wanting something different. You could be very bored in a relationship. That could also be happening as well. Relationship disruptions, unconventional values. Also, too, something dealing with technology and social media, because that's what this all represents, and there could be bringing some disharmony and you like it's like you create art on AI and and it doesn't work. That could be happening through this, right? Love needs freedom, restless desires. Again, Venus represents money. So you could be losing money really fast or really shocked about money, and it could be said or through an email of some sort. So be aware of that. This will really affect, remember, all the people in early degrees here, and this will really affect all of my moodable signs in a negative light, okay? Or if you have this sitting on a personal planet. On the same day, the sun will be opposing Saturn. And this is the ego and the father figure, okay? So your pride is on the line here, and it's the sun is very bright, and it's very confident. There's success here, and now it's negative. There's doomsday. There's like, you didn't do what I say kind of finger. It's like submissive. You have to be submissive, almost like you feel like a slave. Okay. Those are my own words. Sun in Virgo, again, it focuses on the details and the health and the service and being practical. And that Saturn retrograding in Pisces, lessons and boundaries and faith and responsibility, but it's not getting along with their ego. And it's almost like there needs to be a surrendering. Maybe there's a reality check. Maybe there is a boundary happening here. And now the light is shine. Anytime the sun is involved, it is highlighting something. Okay. Again, this is dealing with facts versus spiritual, mystical aspects here. Okay. You could be burnt out with work, or something that is taking too long and moving too slow. That could be an issue as well. Okay. On the 21st, we have the partial solar eclipse, which I talked about in Virgo. And this is just continuing that Virgo energy of health, of practicality, of moving slow. Last time we had a Virgo eclipse, that's when Elon was just firing everyone in Doge. He was being efficient and cleaning out the budget and firing everyone, and that is refinement. So when I sit here and say Virgo represents refinement, that is also what it represents. I remember looking at a chart when Gavin Newsom went to San Francisco, and there was a conference, and he got rid of all the homeless people for like a day or two, so it could look more refined. And it was in a Virgo degree, which Virgo degree is a 6 degrees. So it's either 6 degrees, or I think like 15, 16, 17, 18 degrees. It was one of those degrees. I couldn't remember. But yeah, he was refining and decluttering. Okay. If you can say homelessness is decluttering, I don't mean to laugh, but I want you to understand, grasp the concept of what the Virgo energy represents. And now we have another eclipse happening in us. So just daily system reset, truth in details, collective healing, a lot of work, a lot of service, a lot of spiritual detox and cleansing. Clean, 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 clean is the Virgo's key word. Okay. Now, on September 22nd, after the eclipse, and if you want more on those details of the eclipse, I have a separate video on that, and I go detailed on it. Okay. People are like charging, other astrologers are charging like seminars for this. I did not. I did it for free. So go ahead and check that out. If you put your rising sign down below in the comment, I will even give you your horoscope for you. Okay. September 22nd, Mars enters Scorpio. And when Mars enters Scorpio, this is fight, 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 fight. Scorpio likes to be, Mars likes to be in Scorpio. It's very comfortable here. It's the traditional ruler of Scorpio, and before Pluto was discovered. And so it's very powerful and obsessed with power. It is deep and determined. There's emotional drive, and you're very strategic power energy. Okay. Very deep. It likes to have a lot of control. There's strength and stamina, a lot of intimacy as well, a lot of transformation. And this is also the energy of surgery as well. But a lot of intimacy and sexuality is when you get Mars in Scorpio, but secrets will resurface. Maybe there's corruption is challenged, or maybe there is a transformation through confrontation as well. Excellent time for shadow work or therapy or getting some healing, or detoxing, right? Because you have that Virgo energy still here, hitting at 29 degrees, saying, hurry up. We got this new energy. Get the healing you need to get the mental health energy. Get that fixed, because now Mars is in Scorpio, and now you're pursuing things in a Scorpio way, and you are pursuing things through psychology. And But when Mars is in Scorpio, there's a lot of power plays collectively, a lot of truths being out in the open because it's a detective. A Scorpio is into finances, so financial matters. You're talking about taxes, resources, debts, inheritances, too. All that comes around this energy, but it is a huge energy of healing and transformation and surgery. Okay, channel intensity into focused projects, shadow work, fitness, and intimacy. Scorpio likes to be jealous. So it fights through jealousy and power struggles and like manipulating and control. So be aware of that while Mars is in Scorpio. And also, too, this is dealing with wars. When Mars is in Libra, you are fighting with a partner, you're fighting with your alliance. When Mars is in Scorpio, there is secret tactics happening and a lot of manipulation and controlling of power. Now, that same day, the sun will enter Libra. And the sun doesn't really like to be in Libra because the opposite sign of Libra is Aries, and it really loves to be in Aries. Okay. But the sun, again, it represents the self, the ego, your identity, and the individuality. Libra is about the others. Okay, and partnerships and balance. So that's why the sun is not really shining bright here, but because the sun wants to be about itself, and here you are, you're trying to be charming and graceful, and you're just caring about others. But a lot of dealings with law. I feel like, what's her name, the celebrity, Cardi B, the rapper. Venus is in Leo right now, but I feel like she has Libra placements. I don't remember. I have to look at her chart, but this might be whenever there's Libra season. Let me look up and see actually when is her. Let me see her chart here. Cardi B's natal chart. Let me see because she's all over my TikTok. Let's see what we have here. We don't have a birth time on her. She is a Libra sun. I knew it was Libra. Libra's in charge of her. I wonder if she's a Libra rising though, because Venus is in Leo. Yeah, Mars in Cancer too. So Jupiter's in Cancer. Jupiter is probably sitting. Oh, Mars may be at fifth. Jupiter is dealing with law and court, so that's why it's dealing with her. I'll do a separate reading on her. That was so spontaneous of me. Sorry, but I just didn't want to lose that thought. But it makes sense why she is currently in court. And she's a Libra. Relationships are very important to her across the board. So she'll get married again too. September 23rd, the same day, the sun is making a pattern because it will be opposing Neptune here. And then again, we have another kite, several kites. And I told you, anytime a planet enters 0 degrees, it's going to have an issue here. So like 0 degrees when Mars enters Scorpio, then it's quincunx Uranus, and it's also quincunx it's making a yod with Neptune. So with these two planets, once we hit the government or war, not government, but when someone's fighting in secret, there may be some illusions being aware when it comes to war, and they try to keep it a secret, and it's going to travel really fast through media. But there's something that's making this fight uncomfortable, and it's dealing with deceptions and secrets and endings and death. And it's also dealing with intellect and communication or advancement or something that's very out of the box. Okay. Now, when the sun enters Libra, it is opposing this Neptune. So that makes it a stronger aspect. Again, communication is very fast. Processing information is very fast. The internet and technology is moving fast, and the sun's highlighting these things really well, but there is something that is a secret that's supposed to be hidden, and it doesn't like it. This is self-deception. This is addiction. This is escapism. This is dissolving feelings of selfhood and certainty. This is lack of purpose. This is also creating an issue with your ego and your confidence level. And maybe it's dealing with inflation of your psychic abilities and your intuition, and losing self over the partnership. Okay, so be aware of that. I'll get into that a little bit more. But don't make major life decisions. Pay attention to the red flags, especially if it's dealing with relationships that's living in a rose-colored lens. Okay. And you guys, let me know if you have any questions about a certain day. Also too, in my private community, I put highlight days that are really good for making money, launching a project, yeah, and a lot of other things, but I put it on there for the monthly to go into addition with this as well. Okay. But I do go over everything weekly. Let me see what else we have here for this aspect. The sun will be trining Pluto. So this is intensity with drive, with the ego and getting therapy and being very efficient when it comes to creativity. Yeah, and also thinking out of the box with creativity. Yeah, so yeah, and let me see. Did I say everything else? Okay, so we're on the last day of the month that I saw something big for September 24th, and then I'll do a tarot reading for overall month. But September 24th, if you want the horoscopes, you know what? I'll post them up. I'll post the horoscopes up. I'm just so delayed. And this weekend, I have a tournament. It is out of town. And if I have time in between games, I will post up the horoscopes for you guys. And I know if you're listening to this via podcast, you're like, I won't get it. Maybe I'll do a special episode because, I don't do the horoscopes because I do know if you understand the basics of understanding of the general feeling, you will feel it. So, for example, if I sit here and tell you that the sun, that the moon is in Scorpio, and I'm telling you there's high emotions here, and you want to get really deep, you don't want to have a surface conversation at home, and you probably will find something that's a little detective work, and you find things that are very taboo. You get the gist, but people want more. The internet gets greedy, okay? Especially with this energy happening here. Anyway, but on the last month, we have Mars in Scorpio, and now it is squaring Pluto. But remember, it still has this issue here of feeling uncomfortable. The moon has, speaking of a Scorpio moon, the moon has entered the building too, okay? So this is brute force. This is someone being very aggressive towards you, overexertion, pushing too hard. There is emotions here, highly, highly emotional energy, but it's very raw when Mars is in Scorpio. And power, and there's intensity, and there's deep desire, and there's unrelenting drive, right? And that Pluto retrograding in Aquarius is dealing with transformation, is dealing with, again, surgery as well. And it in Aquarius, it's about your future and also technology. And yeah, but when it's squaring, there is a issue here with anything sharp. There's an issue there, and a clash between power and willpower. In a collective systems, because you are talking about power struggles for sure. So this is a power battle. This is some secrets that are coming up, and yeah, it's feeling very it's moving very fast. So something could be said and a message could be happening, and there's an issue here involving this transformation or this rebirth. Social upheaval, transformation through conflict, intense motivation, a lot of shadow work will be triggered as well. Be aware of that. Okay, channel intensity into focusing on a project. Work on the transformation because there is healing there. Don't engage in unnecessary conflicts, okay, and manipulation as well. Okay, this will clear up as it keeps moving, and the moon will eventually leave and won't be as emotional with this, and things will start to change around September 27th, but it starts to ease up and separate Mars and that Scorpio energy. But we will be seeing a lot of stuff. I told you, anything that enters at 0 degrees has an impact, good or bad, but it will have an impact. Okay, now let me pull some cards for us. I say, what we have for the month of August. Okay, so what do we have for the month of August? What do we have for the month of August? We have the Eight of Pentacles. Again, that's that Virgo energy, really working on the details. This is spending a long time now and leaving the big party and really focusing on your craft and improving your craft. This is mental health. This is taking some time off. Also to just focusing on your work and the details and being more perfecting the work. Also, too, we have the Ace of Swords, a spark of energy, a new drive, new passion, new motivation happening for us in September. Let's see what else we have. So that's great. We have the Six of Pentacles. This is going to be the energy of giving. I talked about charity and healing, but you are giving some tangible things, and this is the energy of charity for a lot of us in September. You could be receiving things too, but you may be giving a lot. We have the sun. This month is going to be very successful, very positive. There's a lot of lessons and challenges, but overall, this is positive. This is God shining a light on you, highlighting. So the sun has got all its issues going on, but overall, the sun is highlighting a lot, and it's focusing on your pride and success, and it's very father energy too. Also, too, a sudden disruption, sudden change. This is Mars. This is chaos. This is fast. But this means also too that you're depending on a false structure that you shouldn't be depending on. Also too, this is the energy of being flexible when the change happens. Do not hold on to dear life because you're just going to be suffering a lot longer. And then lastly, we have the Justice card with harmony and justice, with justice and fairness. Practice balance, practice some inner harmony, practice being fair, work on being fair to others, work on receiving and giving, work on your aesthetics, work on dressing better, work on creativity as well. I'm going to pull a card on what we should do for this Tower card. And we have the King of Cups, and it says to focus on your intuition, focus on your spirituality, love, relationships, giving, service, God, believe in divine timing, pray a lot. Just focus more on not the tangible, but what you feel in God and the Creator. Okay. Yes. So that is what we have for the month of August. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you. Monday's a holiday. So no promises, but we shall see, because I haven't done the reading, even though I just did a reading. But, we like more details, right? You guys are greedy. You may not be greedy, but the others are. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye bye.